You are listening to Bedtime Dreamy Tales. Share and subscribe our channel. Story title: The Little Mermaid, Part 3. Life at the Palace. The Little Mermaid quickly adapted to life at the prince's palace despite the pain she felt with every step. She was dressed in beautiful clothes and became a constant companion to the prince. He called her his little foundling and treated her with kindness. She rode with him on horseback, climbed mountains, and accompanied him on walks through the palace gardens. At night, while the household slept, she would sit by the sea, soothing her burning feet in the cool water, and think of her family in the deep. The prince grew very fond of her and enjoyed her company. They spent their days exploring the countryside, visiting distant lands, and attending to royal duties. Despite her mute condition, the Little Mermaid communicated with her expressive eyes and graceful gestures, which endeared her even more to the prince. He often spoke to her about his hopes, dreams, and the maiden he believed had saved him. The Little Mermaid loved the prince with all her heart. She cherished every moment spent with him, even though she could not express her feelings in words. She hoped that, over time, he would come to love her as much as she loved him. Her silent yearning grew each day, but she remained patient and devoted, willing to endure any pain for the chance to be with him forever. Her sisters, missing her, rose to the surface often to visit her. They sang sorrowful songs, pleading with her to return to them, but she could not. They told her of their father's grief and their grandmother's sorrow. The Little Mermaid longed to speak with them, but could only wave from a distance. She also saw her old grandmother and father, but they stayed farther away from the shore, unable to approach. The visits from her family brought her some comfort, but also deepened her sadness. She knew she could never return to the sea and the life she had left behind. The Little Mermaid watched as her sisters' hair grew more tangled and their eyes became filled with sorrow. She wished she could tell them about the prince and her hope for an immortal soul, but her silence made it impossible. The Little Mermaid's longing for the prince and her new life on land made her determination even stronger. She knew she had to find a way to make the prince love her, for only then could she gain an immortal soul and escape the fate of becoming sea foam. The Little Mermaid's love for the prince grew deeper each day. He loved her dearly, but as one might love a child or a dear friend. He often spoke of a young maiden who had saved him and whom he believed he could never see again. This caused the mermaid great pain, for she knew he spoke of her. Despite her suffering, she remained devoted to him, hoping that one day he might love her enough to give her an immortal soul. The prince's fondness for the Little Mermaid grew, and he enjoyed her company more than anyone else's. He admired her grace, beauty, and the gentle way she moved. The Little Mermaid's presence brought him joy and comfort, and he often sought her out when he needed solace. The Little Mermaid's hope began to waver as she realized that the prince's heart still belonged to the maiden he believed had saved him. She knew she had to find a way to win his love completely, but the task seemed impossible. The days turned into weeks, and the Little Mermaid's silent yearning grew stronger, along with her determination to succeed. News came that the prince was to marry the daughter of a neighboring king. A grand ship was prepared for the journey, and the Little Mermaid joined the prince, hoping against hope that he would choose her instead. When they arrived, the princess was revealed to be the maiden who had found the prince on the shore. The prince was overjoyed and announced his love for her. The Little Mermaid's heart broke, knowing her fate was sealed. The wedding was celebrated with great joy, and the prince and his bride sailed back to his kingdom. The mermaid danced at the wedding, though every step felt like walking on knives. The prince was filled with happiness, believing that fate had brought him and his beloved together. The Little Mermaid watched the celebrations with a heavy heart, knowing that her dream of winning the prince's love and gaining an immortal soul was slipping away. She tried to find solace in the thought that the prince was happy, but the pain of her unrequited love and the impending doom of becoming sea foam haunted her. On the night of the wedding, the Little Mermaid joined the festivities, dancing with grace and beauty that mesmerized everyone. Her movements were light and fluid, and her expressive eyes conveyed the depths of her emotions. Despite the agony she felt with every step, she danced for the prince, hoping that her love for him would somehow shine through and touch his heart. As the night drew to a close, the Little Mermaid knew that her time was running out. She had sacrificed everything for the chance to be with the prince, and now she faced the reality of her fate. The joy and laughter around her seemed distant and hollow as she contemplated her impending death. The Little Mermaid's heart was heavy with sorrow, but she resolved to face her fate with the same courage and grace she had shown throughout her journey. If you like this story, please give this video a like. For more stories, go to bedtimedreamytales.com. See you in the next story.